Good on, guys. Welcome back to another live preview. Obviously, this week, Hull away, going to be a tough game. Obviously, also, we've got guests on again. Welcome to Josh, Lewis, and Jake. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. Feel like we're on
All
top.
good, mate. So, welcome already. Make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to share as well. So yeah, first of all, we're going to start off with obviously the Burton game, which is very annoying. Go with you, Josh, first. What's your thoughts on that game?
Same story really as most of the season under Garner, under Tisdale, and now Burton, albeit probably created more chances than we usually do. Don't take your chances, get punished. You know, the sending off was a joke. And that ultimately cost us the game because at half time we'd go in, you know, you'd felt confident we were going to go on and win the game, but you know that red card changed everything. And it was a poor second half, regardless of the red card. We sort of went within ourselves, invited some pressure, and it was a good goal from Burton, but you know, writing's on the wall every week against the teams in and around us, and it was another game we failed to capitalise on.
Yeah, it was a proper frustrating one, wasn't it? I thought first half we looked good, we just couldn't score. Obviously, Nicholson had that chance. Yeah. By the way, obviously I just seen Harry said Charlie in the hole already. Yeah, like I said to the lads, I've just literally bought like a green screen, so that's basically what it is. I just bought like a cheap green screen, and then yeah, hopefully to make the content a bit better than just staring at my walls, and also because I'm trying to get a new webcam sorted for this laptop because for some reason the webcam's awful. Just going to welcome Ryan, Ryan to the stream as well. I think, yeah, how's it going? How's it going, Ryan?
You all right, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Cheers for joining. Right, Jake, we'll start with you now as well. What was your thoughts on Tuesday's game?
It summed the season up, really. You know, we had our chances, just didn't take them in that first half. You know, we had maybe 2 or 3 good shots, really, sort of where we should have done better from. The red card, you know, it was worthy of a second yellow, but it didn't go the other way. I think that's what people's mood was with it, is that, you know, Rovers get done for doing that, and yeah, Burton don't. But yeah, sadly it was one of those games where we've just come to expect it this season. And when we had that really good result against Shrewsbury, where we thought we might be able to finally kick on, that result Tuesday just completely brought us back into, well, we're still in danger anyway, but it sort of just really put the pressure back on us again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the frustrating thing, wasn't it? That we played so well against Shrewsbury, and then, you know, same old Rovers play a team around us, don't finish your chances. Then the red card obviously was a massive, you know, issue, and obviously ultimately we lost the game. Lewis, we'll go with you next. What did you make of Tuesday's performance?
Oh well, I think first half probably had 2 great chances, you know, to go one ahead. I think Nicholson really should be putting them away. He's missed a few chances, but you know, you kind of let him off a bit with the injuries carrying. But yeah, I think that sending off really killed our momentum, and you know, it's just a bit of a story of our season. Really, we got to be putting them chances away to win them games, because you know, I don't think Burton even troubled us really. You know, in that first half, they had to take off a striker because that's how well, you know, we were playing. I thought the midfield played straight through them, and yeah, I think it was amazing, really, how we didn't score. But yeah, that sending off really did kill our momentum, and we could have gone on and win that game. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously BRFC Tom put it there. Barton's record against Hull, the Hull manager, is decent. Yeah, hopefully it comes this week then, because obviously we know it's going to be a tough game. Ryan, first of all, welcome to the show. Obviously, well, I say show, but preview, you know what I mean. But what was your thoughts on Tuesday as well?
It was just parallel opposite to what we saw on Saturday, first and foremost. Don't quite know where to start, to be honest. because Saturday we played this high pressing, forward momentum attacking football, and then on Tuesday, I don't even know how to describe it. It was we were still attacking. We weren't like what it was under Tisdale, for example. We didn't play like 7 defensive players at any one time, but we just couldn't put anything away. We just couldn't get any movement going. I think Burton were very good at breaking up play as well. So I think it's just one of those bad days at the office all round. I don't think there was much, that could have been done no matter who the manager was or who was playing on the day. It just seemed like it just wasn't our day.
Yeah, it was just another one of those games. But I mean, we've basically been saying it all season, though, haven't we? It's another one of those games, and we have obviously a lot of people get excited after Burton. It was really good. The football we played, chances we created should have probably been 3 or 4. And then go to a team that's or was just behind us at the time and ultimately lose the game. We're going to the next part. What's your guys' thoughts with Barton bringing in Martinez and Walker to the squad? Go with you, Josh, first.
We saw signs of early on in pre-season and the early sort of squads with Garner that Zane Walker was going to be part of those plans, and then it sort of faded away when we weren't getting results, and he went with a little bit more experience. But what I've seen of Martinez and what Oxford City were raving about, it sounds like quite a positive. Ball playing centre half, and it's probably something we've been crying out for. Even if it's just to get him involved and get him some experience for next season, it would just be good to get him and Zane in that first team environment, and hopefully we can see some progression going forward and get especially Walker some minutes, because offensively we're not scoring goals, and the likes of Zane Walker, given the chance, why not?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was obviously we've seen a lot of Martinez in pre-season, didn't we? He played pretty much most of the games, and he looked good. I remember, against Cardiff, he looked really confident and good on the ball, like you said. So, and obviously Walker, like I think a lot of us know that he's got talent. It's just that he needs the right sort of coach or manager to bring the best out of him. Jake, what's your thoughts on him bringing those 2 players into the first team picture?
Well, it gives them a bit more options. I think that's the first thing, first and foremost. It gives them a different option to go with, especially with Walker going forward. We're quite kind of stuck with options going forward. The players that are playing are the only ones we've got. I've not really seen any of Martinez. I've not really seen much of him at all. But Walker, it seems to be a good player on the surface. Obviously, lots to work with, but he's got a bit of pace and so on. And that's something we lack throughout most of the team. So, someone with a bit of pace, it's bound to make a long story short. It can't be any worse than what we've got there at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like you said, I think we need that sort of Walker type off the bench, because we haven't really got an exciting, player that can come off the bench and with a bit of skill. So yeah, he could be a good one. Hopefully, when they do get their chance, they do take it. Lewis, what about you? What's your thoughts?
I remember I haven't seen much about Martinez apart from the Cardiff game, but I thought he was right in there. I think he played about 40 odd minutes or something in that 130-minute game. I thought he looked decent. Good passing for a centre back out from the back. I think with that Walker, he's definitely got it in him. He's a bit raw and stuff, but I think a low move next season, get some minutes under his belt, and he could be a serious talent, because I thought he was good in that Cardiff game as well, and he's had a few appearances in the Checker trade. So I think Leyton Orient, he was very good there as well. But
Yeah. I think that's what he definitely needs, is a loan spell. Maybe conference to start off with. I think that's a good league to send players out, and it's still obviously a good league. Ryan, what about your thoughts? Are you happy with him bringing those 2 back into the picture?
Definitely, because one thing that we have lacked is squad rotation. I just feel like, because obviously we had the squad numbers at the start of the season and wage caps, salary caps. So it's good now that all that's been scrapped and we can just bring in in a sense, whoever we want, as long as they're contracted to us. I know, obviously, we had the chance to bring in Joe Ledley as well, and I know that's now been turned down. I would just say, considering our defence is already very, what's the best way of putting it? Just they leak a lot of goals, and we don't really have a lot of style in our defence. There's no, Garner brought in a lot of ball playing centre backs, and the ball playing centre backs we've brought in don't seem to be sticking to the task of like basics first, fancy football later. Yeah. So I mean, if you give younger players that little bit of experience, they will quickly adapt to the game as well. So bringing in Martinez was a bit like, in a sense, bringing in Kilgore last season, because, all right, yeah, he was a bit of an unknown. He had a spell in non-league, which apparently turned out to be pretty good. So bringing him in was a risk. But, yeah, it's a risk worth taking, I would say, at this time. We need everyone, on it. We just need everyone on it and performing to the best of their abilities. But bringing in Walker as well, like Jake said, we're a bit stuck for options going forward. So having that extra option there, it means you can unlock certain formations, you can play certain players now in a certain way to the best of their abilities as well. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see what Zane Walker and Pablo Martinez can bring to the side.
Yeah, definitely. Also, that question from Harry Jenkins: do you want us to sign man like Tommy Nichols back?
Of course I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy though, isn't it? I know it's a step down, but he's been doing so well. I can't remember exactly on the nail how many goals he has got, but I know he's got double figures. So yeah, 13. Fair play to him, and so he's doing really well. I think the last time he scored that many was I think it was his only season at Peterborough. I think he got 14, and that was in League One. But yeah, fair play to him, and maybe you never know, if Paul Tisdale was still here, we could have had him back. But I was also going to bring that up about what you said about Joe Ledley. Obviously, we're quickly going to go over that now, get everyone's thoughts on it, of him not being signed, because obviously Burton said about, because he is 34, and he said, a person that age that should, need a pre-season. We'll go with you, Josh. Thoughts? What do you reckon?
Yeah, we need the experience, and like the free agent market is wide open, but it's hard to argue with what Barton says. If he needs a pre-season, then he isn't going to be as effective for the remainder of the season as we want him. So maybe there's others out there in the market that we can pluck and use to their best ability, whereas Ledley was gonna take a while to come to fruition, and we haven't got that time to take that risk.
Yeah, completely agree. Because obviously he hasn't played in over a year, so you can understand why. We know he's, like Joey said, we know he's got the quality, but when you've only played like 7 games in 2 years, then Jake, what's your thoughts on Ledley not signing?
Mute button being my friend there. It's one of those. I wasn't particularly too bothered by it. I think, to play that amount of games in a couple of years, and I think it was asking a lot for him to come in like that and just pick up like he did before, or when he was at his better performances. At this point in the season, with this much pressure in a way, it's not like Rovers are in mid-table mediocrity and not going anywhere. It'd have been a lot to ask, I think, for Joe to come in, and that's a lot of pressure to put on anyone's shoulders. And I'm sure wages would have been a lot as well. So I'm disappointed for him personally. It's not worked out, but I think for the club, it's probably better in the long run, if I'm honest.
Yeah, we'll go with Lewis next. What's your thoughts on the situation?
Well, I had quite a few Charlton fans telling me that he went amazing. I think they signed him like for 6 months, and he played for about 40 odd minutes, and they didn't rate him really. And I think if you go to the Australian League, I think you go there to retire, and I think he does need a pre-season in him. I mean, he got some decent minutes in the other game, but if you're going to come into a situation where we are now, I think you don't really need to Bison style. I think, if you look at McCormick and Grant, I think Grant's been excellent the last few weeks, especially. I think it's a similar player as well. And I don't think Ledley will be able to keep up with the pressing football that Garner wants to play. And I think he's obviously got good experience at the highest levels, but I think at his age definitely needs that pre-season, and I think lack of fitness, we won't really see him until the end of the season. So no, I think we just move on. We've got some decent midfielders in there. Obviously, McCormick's not going to be there, so you have to look for Westbrook to step up now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good as well, the fact that McCormick's only missing one game, which is a bonus, because if it was free, we got some, a game every Tuesday, Saturday for pretty much the whole of the season. But thank God he's only missing the one. Ryan, we'll go with you. What's your thoughts on the whole situation?
What's in with like McCormick and Ledley and all that? Yeah. So my thoughts on Ledley are kind of in agreement with everything. Yeah, he does need pre-season. He's at that age now where you are looking closer to retirement than you are to like building your career. He's had a career as such. He was Welsh international. He's been in the Premier League, he's been in championships, been in the SPL. So yeah, he's been here, there, and everywhere. But it's just whatever he does next is going to be where he retires, pretty much, I would have thought. So yeah, League One might now be his level, but a pre-season would have been the best way to determine whether if he was ready for League One football or just any football again. But Cormac's situation, yeah, I'm glad it's only one game. He's been a stand-up player in recent weeks. He's been much better now than what he was at the start of the season. But again, that all depends on where you play McCormack. It's the same as the rest of the squad, really. Like Westbrook, for example, when he was under Garner, he was more like a number 6 than a number 8. Hanlon as well. I know obviously he's been brought in to be the number 9, but he plays a bit like a number 7 mixed with a number 10. So the story of our season really has been square pegs and round holes, but it's nice now that people are starting to find where they belong within the team, and also starting to play to the best of their strengths under Burton even.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. A lot of good points from you and Lewis there. Next, we're going to move on to obviously Hull, which is obviously the main talking point. Currently second in the league. I think they've won their last 2 games. I know they lost to Ipswich the last Tuesday before gone. But the last 2 games, they scored 5 goals, conceded none. So it is going to be tough. Obviously, players like Malik Wilkes, I think he's got 16 goals for top goal scorer. He's not even a striker, he's a winger, but quality player. Obviously, McGuinness as well, who was missing the last game, wasn't on the bench either, but he's got 14 goals, might be back. And obviously, ex-Sunderland player George Honeyman, 10 assists, 3 goals. What's your thoughts, Josh, on how we can sort of stop them playing their game?
It's a daunting prospect, really, isn't it? They had the expectations at the start of the season to do well and sort of jump back into the championship. They stuck with Grant McCann and they recruited quite well. The likes of like George Honeyman, who came in like the season before, and that they really find League One that they exceeded in League One. Josh McGuinness, he's done it before. His big, powerful presence. Malik Wilkes is a terror on the wing, and if we want to get something out of the game, then we've got to sort of replicate what we did at Shrewsbury. High press, strangle them out of possession, and not concede chances. I think it was 91 minutes the first chance we conceded at Shrewsbury. So if we want to get any form of success, we've got to keep that sort of press in the game and take our chances when we get them, and that's a big if. It's a big if, but I'm sure Burton would have done his homework. Hull are quite a direct side, so if we do implement a press, then it's going to be effective if it's done properly.
Yeah, completely agree. Got a question here from Harry. The kids coach Ben Garner or just fashion Tiz? Quickly, we'll go with everyone. Josh, we'll go with you quickly again. Who would you rather have, Garner or Tisdale?
As you can see, I'm a sucker for Ted Baker stuff. So I go for Paul because I can't relive Garner, I can't relive Atkins and Graydon. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Jake, your thoughts on that question and yeah, your thoughts on it. Garner or Tiz?
Gonna put me head on the stage. I guess it means in terms of footballing managers. I'd say Garner, personally, for me.
Jesus.
I got the same haircut as Tiz.
Yeah, you got the same haircut as Tiz. You might want to just quickly take your hat off and show everyone.
I'd rather not. I'll show you part. I'll show you part. There you go. That's as far as I'm going. But yeah, man. No, I think Garner did sorry to say people done worse, but sort of, I think had he not has last season be as poor as it was, it's all ifs and buts, isn't it? But if last season wouldn't have been as poor for him, then I don't think he would have been sat when he was. But I think he got more return out of the squad than Tisdale did. That we've got currently anyway. And it looks like Burton sort of eclipsed and all that. I will say, sort of to go off topic a little bit, I think Burton is improving the shape a lot more, which Garner or Tisdale don't think they. I'll say they didn't know what they were doing, but I don't think they knew what they had or what to do with it. Like as I think it was Ryan said, it was square pegs and round holes. So yeah, out of the two, I'd have to just give it to Garner. Not that I'd absolutely pray for it, but
Jeez. Lewis, what about you? Would you rather have Super Ben or Super Tiz?
I think Garner had the right ideas and it just never worked out for him. But I think his recruitment, he did pretty well on that, to be honest. Yeah, he attracted some good players and stuff. And I think Westbrook was one of the best signings. Well, on paper, he was one of the best signings in League One in the summer. I think with Tisdale, I didn't really see any like game plan or anything. I think it was just like lump it up to Hanlon and see what happens. I think the only game, I think there's just the Plymouth and Wimbledon games, the only real games that kind of enjoyed under Tisdale. But yeah, I'd have to go with Garner, really. I think the right ideas just never worked out for him.
Yeah, fair enough. Ryan, what about you? Who would you have, Tisdale or Garner? Oh, McGee. No, you can't bring him into it. Jesus Christ.
No. Yeah, given what's been said already, I would say for the kind of the idealisms, the philosophies, and all, I would say Ben Garner, just because his recruitment, his connections, and all the other stuff. It was near enough spot on in a sense, but what he recruited for just hasn't worked out. So yeah, I'd have to give it to Garner. I mean, Tisdale was just play a random side just through random number generator, take off all your attacking intent and replace it with a left back, a centre back, and a CDM. I mean, Garner ball, as I call it, is basically B-Tech Barton ball.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, me personally, it's a very hard decision because I don't really want to sort of go over any of them either. They were both bad, but because he's in the building and because he's got his hat on this time and he's sat next to Josh, I'm gonna have to go with Tisdale. I think Garner was just awful under Garner. He had a longer spell. I still don't know how he was backed in the summer with the way the season ended because it was awful, quite frantically. Yeah, it was shocking, but Tisdale just beats him, and obviously because he's with us now, aka Jake Barber, I'm gonna have to go with Tisdale.
I will say sorry, with the whole Garner situation. I think there's some people somebody I know who wanted Garner out after 5 games last season when he took over. So it's like some people I know, they barely gave him a chance. I think it was the Doncaster game after we lost. I think it was 2-0 home to Doncaster. And so someone I know wanted Garner out after 5 games last season. So yeah, I don't think the support.
Same here. I wanted him gone as well. He was awful.
Quickly.
He was awful. I mean, you could see even, I can't believe how he was kept that long in charge, to be honest. But yeah, obviously Barton ball now, which is completely different. All right, we go back onto the the question of like how we can sort of defend and go ahead with the way Hull play attack and their star players. Jake, what's your thoughts on the likes of Wilkes and the way they play?
Well, Wilkes, especially for me, like I don't particularly keep much of an eye on the teams at the top because we're nowhere near. But Wilkes is always a standout player. He's always been a difficult player when he's played against Rovers before. I think it's just a case of not trying to overcommit, which I hate that outlook. I think if you're trying to not overcommit, it's kind of like you're setting up with two banks of fight. But it's just to try and stifle them out as much as we can. But like Josh said, we did that well against Shrewsbury, and the shape was excellent. But Hull are a completely different kettle of fish. If there is an underbelly to Hull's side, they seem to, compared to when we played them at the start of the season, Hull seem to win 3 or 4 games and then lose 2 or 3. There's no sort of that unbeaten run for 10 or 12 games. So, hopefully we sort of catch them on one of those off games. I think they're more likely than other teams at the top. So that's one way to positive to look at it. But with this Rovers team, who knows? It's like we played well against Portsmouth and got the 3 points there. So, it depends what Rovers team turns up, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, like you two have said already, Josh and Jake, that the fact that I think it's a game that we're going to have to high press. But, the personnel, obviously, we know McCormick's missing for that one game, but we'll obviously go through the lineups, everyone's lineup, who they want in a couple of minutes. Lewis, what about you? What's your thoughts? Should we play the high press, like we said, and how can we stop their danger men?
Well, I was talking to a Hull fan earlier, and he said if you come to I think it's the KCOM, if you just sit back, you usually get results because they struggle to break down teams. Apparently, that's what he said. I think we just got to try and nullify Wilkes because he seems to score every time we play him. I remember Darryl Clark's last game, Doncaster, James Clark had to get taken off after about 15 minutes because he ran him ragged. But you got to try. Carl Bennett came on, didn't really do much, but I think we've just got to try and nullify their threats, especially down the wings. I think when we played them last time, I think the first 30 minutes, obviously Daly got that goal and we were on top, but that's under Garner, isn't it? So it's a whole different story. But I think they just grew stronger and stronger every time they got more momentum. I think they got McGuinness is back as well. Obviously he scores loads of goals to this level, and obviously Northern Ireland and everything. But I think I'll be happy with a point really to go there. Just make sure we're putting a good performance in, and with the high press and everything, can we really do that with McCormick? Without McCormick, sorry.
Probably not.
I think we have to see what the lineup is really.
Definitely, and obviously you touching back there when, when he did play against us last time. I think it was and I think I went as well. It was, I don't really want to talk about it, but it was when we lost 4-1 at Donny. When he was at Donny, I think he got like 20 goals that season, and I went there on a Tuesday night. I think we was 4-0 down in the first half, and it was shocking. He's the main threat, but it's going to be interesting. Like I say, we're going to talk about it with everyone's lineup. But Leahy, I don't think. I think Burton will play him, but it's going to be dodgy because he literally likes to play as a winger, doesn't he? So, but we'll go on that in a minute. Got to question it on screen. Quickly go over it. Josh, we'll start with you. Are we going to stay up? Yes or no? I think we had the question last week, but we'll from someone else, but we'll answer it again this week. What's your thoughts? Are we staying up?
I said last week no, but from what I've seen at Shrewsbury and the teams in and around us, I think the only way in which we are going to stay up is if we pull a result out of our ass like we did at Shrewsbury, Portsmouth, because we seem to struggle with the teams around us. I think I'm going to change my outlook. I think we're going to stay up.
Yeah, love that positivity. Jake, what's your thoughts? Are we staying up, or do you think we're going to go down?
It's such a simple question, but a difficult one to answer. I don't know if my dog could give me any different answers, but I think heart says yes, but mine says no. I think even though our defence isn't great, we just don't score enough goals. And without wishing to sound like Sherlock Holmes, the teams that go down are usually the ones that don't score enough goals. So I don't know. I'm going to say yeah because my heart is just it's too. I can't. I don't think it. Unless it was near enough impossible for us to go down, I don't think I'd ever say that. And I know that's like blind optimism, but yeah, I think we're just about to. Don't know how, but I think we will.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Lewis, what about you? Are you positive, or do you reckon we'll go down?
I think obviously Hannon's injured right now, but I think he needs to start hitting the ground and running a bit more often now. I think we will stay up. There's generally some pretty awful teams in this division. I know we've lost to most of them, but they have some massive hard games coming up. I think Sunderland and Charlton got to play some of the bottom teams coming up. So hopefully, I think 45 points might be enough this season. I generally think that because how awful the teams have been below us and above us. But yeah, I do think we'll stay up. I think we've got enough in the building, but I think it will be by the scrape of our teeth if we do.
Yeah, I hope we do. But yeah, it's a good point. Like all of you have said, the teams that don't usually stay up are the ones that can't score. Ryan, first of all, what's your thoughts? Will we stay up? And the second of all, what can we do to stop them playing?
$64,000 question there, Charlie. Do I think we can stay up first and foremost? If we play like we did against Shrewsbury, yes. If you play like we did against Burton, no. So I think we will. Not by much, but I think we will. I think it will probably be like either the last day of the season or the penultimate game of the season where that.
I'll be dead by then if we're that low.
Yeah, Blackpool away as well. Blackpool away on our last game of the season as well. So I hope we don't have to stay up.
Well, all I can hope is that on the last game of the season, Blackpool don't have to wear our away strip. No, home strip even. You never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we will stay up. Not by much, but I think we will stay up this season. And what do we need to do to stop Hull? I reckon we need to... well, to be fair, it's like, I think you said, didn't you, Josh? They play very direct. They've got quite a good attack. One player you've not mentioned, actually, is Kane Lewis-Porter.
Yeah, he came on and scored, didn't he, in the home game we lost. Yeah,
it's very young. He's a good impact sub as well.
Yeah, triple sub absolutely done us.
Triple sub absolutely.
They all scored, didn't they?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but that's the annoying thing. We were winning for quite a while, weren't we? And then he brought on the sub and we fell apart. I think it was Bowl. Was it Bowl when he made a stupid mistake in the box or on the edge? He lost his footing and yeah. So yeah. So hopefully this time. Next up, lineups. Josh, we'll start with you. What's your what sort of lineup do you want us to play?
It depends. I don't know if is Dave fit. Do you know?
Yes, he is. He's back. Yeah, he's fit to play. But although saying that, he did Stapishov. I mean, like you said as well, I seen as well. Some people said that he was at fault for the goal against Burton. Stapishov, no chance. I don't think not many keepers were saving that. Plus, he actually kept us in it. Looking back at the highlights, he made 2 or 3 really good saves. But yeah, Joe Day is fit though.
Personally, I'd probably stick with Geordie. I mean, you can't keep building him up and then destroying his confidence. And like you said then, and I said to you in the week that people were whinging about the fact that he didn't clear the stands with the clearance, and then they scored. But then McCormick got sent off. But I thought at stages he did keep us in the game, so I'd probably go Geordie in goal. If Williams is fit, I'd stick with Williams. I think he's one of our positives of this season, and one of the positive things Tisdale actually did was bring him in. Kilgore, I think Kilgore and Harries again. They didn't do too much wrong. They scared the life out of me at times, but the people coming in to replace him, would they do any better? Probably not. Whether Martinez gets dropped straight in, I don't know. But yeah, I'd stick with those two. Leahy again, he divides opinion. Brilliant going forward. When you're on the other end of a counter attack, he seems to be one of the last back. And I think Kane Hemmings was at the back post, unmarked it, and messed the chance up. But I was like, where's Leahy? He scores a lot of goals because he's really good at getting in at the back post and causing trouble. But it's when he's jogging back the other way and we're 5-on-4, and a lot of people don't sort of see that side of his game. He has been one of our standouts, don't get me wrong, but I think realistically he's a defender first and foremost, and he's not very good at it at times. But is he our best left back? Yeah, he is. So he plays. McCormack's a massive miss in that middle if we do want to implement a high press like Ryan and Jake have said. Who else can do that? I think Westbrook and Grant would probably start from me. You're going to pack that midfield out if you want to press it and maintain shape. So the likes of it's going to have to be Upson, who slots in there. Sits as a deep line midfielder with Grant, which probably takes some of Grant's qualities away from him. But I think the only other option really is to push Oztumer into a more advanced role, which I don't think we'd want to do unless we want to go all out attack. And then Hanlon's not fit. He's been, managing this Achilles. So if he's not fit, then I'd go Rodman, Nicholson, and Jonah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good team. Yeah, that's the thing. It was when he said in the interview he done Barton that Hanlon, he's got this injury and you can't keep playing him. He's gonna have to have a rest. So I think even though this is the game, I don't want him to have a rest. I think we need to, because if he gets injured, like we've then got no pace up front, no one to get him behind. Obviously, you can play Nicholson there, but he's also carrying an injury as well, and he's been doing that for months, I think. So, yeah, it should be interesting. Jake, what lineup and players would you play?
I've been thinking about what Josh was going for. I was thinking, because towards the back, I'm pretty set with I'd go with. So obviously, I think if Day's not 100% fit, I would stick with Geordie. Would I stick with him anyway? Maybe, perhaps. I mean, I think he needs that experience against some of the bigger teams. If Williams is fit, I think he's got a slot in there. So I'm going to go with be a bit brave with sort of like a back three, back five there. I know it's defensive, but I think sort of back three with Kilgore, Harries, and Baldwin. I'm not sure if Aimler's kind of got his spot in there yet, but I think then maybe a game like Hull might be good for Aimler to play. I'm not 100% sure. And I think Leahy's probably your go-to option at left back. I was thinking of the other two that we've got, Koike and Tutonda, but I think Tutonda played against Hull earlier in the season and was completely torn to shreds. Same might go for Leahy as well. I'm not going to count your chickens on that, but who knows? He's going to be in for a tough day there. He's sort of looking towards the midfield there. I think if Upson's fit, I think he should start because he's sort of that defensive mould. I think Grant's going to be in there for that energy as well. And going forward's a bit of a weird one. So we are carrying a few injuries. So in some form or another, I think you're going to sort of be playing Rodman. I think he's not done too bad since coming back in. I think Halland's injured, so you're probably looking at a Younger and Nicholson up front with him. It's just the injuries. I think that's what's worrying. And I think what concerns me, if Nicholson's been that injured or been injured for that long, my worry is if he's continuing playing with it, is it going to be worse for him this summer? And then there's a chance he might be out even longer. So, I think if we were mid-table, I think he'd already be off getting it sorted. But I think it also shows that how much we rely on certain players to get us out of this hole. And I think in a way it kind of hinders him. It's like Hanlon. Hanlon works really hard. We said this last week. I think no one can fault his effort, but He's carrying so much responsibility on his shoulders. And he's trying to essentially play in 2 different positions at the same time. And he can't do it. He's not at that level yet. And will he be? Who knows? But I think it's just a case of just try and put your best 11 out there and see what you can do, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Lewis, what's your lineup? I'm pretty sure I think it was you on Twitter the other day that do a lineup. But yeah. Who would you play for everyone to know?
I think going off what Josh said, we got to start Geordie, because if he gets run of games in, like, who knows what he could become. I think for instance Fleetwood when Garner got sacked, I think he came in no confidence whatsoever, just chucked in the deep end straight away. Just had an awful performance. But I thought he was quite good against Burton. I think maybe if he cleared that ball into Rose Ed, would have been a different outcome. But yeah, I'd start him in goal. I think with Harry's, he has been good recently, but he does annoy me. He does dwell on the ball a bit too much. I don't mind him passing out from the back. Just I think waste a bit of time sometimes just getting it forward. But I think obviously Kilgore's got to start in the centre for me, and then I think it's a toss up between Baldwin or Amer. But I think Baldwin's gonna have to start because Amer's been out for quite a while. And then I don't think Williams is actually fit, if I read that correctly. Williams is not fit, so would you go with Rodman right mid maybe? Because I think Williams dropped into that back 3 recently, being more of a central right back. And then I think Leahy's got to bring his A game, because I remember MK away, he got absolutely torn to shreds. I think he's got to definitely bring his A game. And then I think got to be Grant and Westbrook in the middle. I think they've been all right, them two. I think Westbrook's starting to become the player he's told to be. I think Nicholson behind the 2 strikers, I think does bring something different, picks up the ball, makes something happen. But at the same time, he's been a bit annoying with his finishing recently. Hopefully he can put that to bed soon. I think that with the pressing that Barton wants to play, I think you've got to go start with James Daly up front, because he runs miles. He run through a brick wall for you. And I think he did get that goal last time, and it was a scrappy goal, but still a goal at the end of the day against Hull last time. And then I think if Hannon's possibly, he can play through the pain barrier or go with younger up front, because I think Hannon's going to have to play a massive part in keeping us up this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good team. Ryan, we'll go with you next. Who would be your starting 11 for Saturday?
My starting 11. I would go with I think Jordy needs a run of games, to be honest. Joe Day's had a run of games, and he's been all right at times, and then there's other times where just haven't wanted to know. So I think any goalie's almost the same. Your team is as strong as your goalie, so I think Jordy should start this one, just because he has been starting he started the last game. So it's nice for him to get a little run of games, got a little bit of confidence behind him then. I'm going to go for a back 3. I'm going to go with Harry's at left centre-back, Baldwin at centre-back, and Kilgore at right centre-back. And then left wing-back as such, I'm going to go Leahy. And then in the midfield, I'm going to go for Grant and Westbrook side by side, just because I feel that they're starting to really find their roles within the midfield now. They're not being held back by whatever management tactic has been implemented or such. Right wing back, you're right. Williams is injured still. I'm going to go with Rodman, just because I think he has been one of our more consistent performers. And that headband seems to be doing him the world of good, to be honest. Going forward, I'm going to go with a front 3, I reckon, because Altuma is still kind of recovering from coronavirus. Because I know he played in the development squad game in the week, and I think Barton said something about he chucked him in there because he's still recovering from the long-term effects. So it was just for him to get some match fitness. So I think it'll be another couple of weeks before he's even back in the first team squad. So I'm going to go with Nicholson. I'm going to go for Nicholson as like a cam. And then I'm going to go for Daly and a Younger as the front 2. So a 3-4-1-2. I think I've gone for. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. I think that's what formation I'd play. 3-4-1-2, same defenders and goalie as Ryan. Also the same midfield with Grant, Westbrook in the middle. Like Ryan said, they've really started to play really well with a good consistent run for the both. This is where it comes. On the right, I'd go with. I'd actually go with Hare. I'd start Josh Hare. I know he can get caught out a bit, but I think it'd be different if he was playing on the left. If it was Wilkes, then I'd be like, no chance. But I know Kean Lewis Potter's good, but I think Hare, after he played the other day, done pretty well. I know it was Bournemouth's, players that weren't playing a lot, but I think he deserves it. And then obviously the left, like you said, left sort of mid, left wing back, Leahy. And then up front, I'd go with, on the right, Rodman. I think he deserves it. He can also, we know he can play a wing back role, but I think and even then when he's been playing as a winger, he helps back really well. And then up front, I'd go with Daly, just because, like Lewis said, of the pressing element to his game, and the fact that he scored against Hull last time, so that could be a good omen. And then just behind, them two, I'd go with Nicholson. I think that would be a really good lineup. Maybe some people might question the Hare, but to be honest, I think he deserves it. I think he's a good player. After a good game the other day, got himself a goal from the penalty spot. So yeah, that would be my team. We're going to get on with predictions now to end it. Make sure you get your prediction in the comments as well. Who people are in there, keep smashing the like as well. If you're enjoying this sort of thing we do on a Friday, subscribe if you haven't already. Right, start with you, Josh. What is your prediction for Hull?
I'm going to go 2-1 Gas.
Oh, I love it. Love that positivity. Jake, what about you? You feeling positive?
I wish I was. I do. Well, I wish I was. I do try to be. I don't know. I'm gonna go with. Oh Christ, 3-0 Hull. I think.
God, 3-0.
I know. A way to lower the mood a bit. I know. I just think they'll have too much, and I think. So we don't score enough goals, and their defense ain't too bad. So I think it'll be a bit tough on tomorrow.
Wow, 3-0 Hull.
I know. I hope not. Yeah, that's what I mean. I might just be sort of overthinking it. I don't know. It's made up for one of these games, so we'll get an absolute pacing, or we'll sneak the 3 points. I don't think there'll be any in between. Yeah, sadly, 3. I hope I'm wrong.
Wow, 3-0. I mean, hopefully it's not that, because I'll probably be ending the stream early. But yeah. Lewis, what about you? Are you feeling confident, or are you feeling a bit negative like Paul Tisdale over there?
Well, it's a toss up between being optimistic and realistic. I reckon I would be happy with a point, a 0-0. I don't think that would ever happen. I don't really see us scoring against them. But as long as we're in the game competing, I think a 0-0 would be amazing, really. And you just got to go back to frustrating teams. I think obviously Barton's had a good record against them, and I think we could cause an upset, or go out there and get absolutely smashed. But I'll just take a 0-0.
Yeah, definitely. That point would be good. But to be honest, I mean, Rovers and 0-0s. Obviously, usually we do 0-0s against Fleetwood, but Hull, yeah, I'll take a point for sure. Ryan, what about you? You feeling positive, or?
I think Lewis hit the nail on the head. Optimism over realism, but so my prediction going into Hull, it's strange because we can get a good result out of teams like Portsmouth, out of Peterborough. We can get good results here, there, and everywhere. Even Lincoln earlier
Yeah,
on in
Lincoln
the
away
season.
won it with
Lincoln away
Garnable.
could win that. But then we get some really shocking, abysmal results against Swindon, against Burton, against Rochdale. It's a frustrating one. So I think I'm in the camp of, I don't think we're going to get smashed 3-0, but I don't think we're going to win 2-1 either. So I think I'm going to go with either 1-1 or 2-1 to Hull. I do think we'll score, but I do think the onus is on Hull to score first.
Yeah.
Because if they score first, then I think it will just be game over, and they'll completely tear us to shreds. So I think if we score first, we've then got to try and press to get that second. Otherwise, Hull are just going to absolutely, as I said, tear us to shreds because their front line is just so good.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a free hit, isn't it? If you look at it, we're not really expected to win it. I think I was pretty upset about the Wigan result, the Burton result, and I think against Portsmouth, I went into it thinking, as long as we're in the game, it don't really matter about the scoreline because we're not really expected to win against them. But I think against these big sides, just a point would be amazing against them because we just got to beat the teams around us. And obviously, I think Hull's a free hit. You just go there, just try and outplay them like Barton has done in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, my prediction. It's sort of the lines what Ryan said. I think he would basically, if Hull get the first goal, saying, I don't know, the first 15 minutes, I think that's us done. I think we'll get battered 3-4-0. But if we can score, that's the main thing. We need to score first. If we can score first, and then maybe we're trying to hold on like we did the first game of the season at Sunderland, where we nearly, I know we got, battered second half, but if we can, win the battles and keep players quiet, touch wood, then yeah, we can get something. I'm going to go 1-0 Rovers, a clean sheet away from home and 3 points. I know it seems mad, but
Clean sheet.
yeah. I mean, it would be crazy. Even a draw, like Lewis said, I'll take a 0-0 definitely. But yeah, that's going to be the end of it. Obviously, don't want to go on too long because I'm on. I don't know if anyone else is, but I'm on for the Gascast Zoom call. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate obviously Jake, aka Tisdale, Lewis, Josh, and Ryan for joining in tonight. Drop a like, subscribe, and we will see you in a bit. Up the gas.
Up the gas.
Up the gas.
Yeah.
Okay.